ambulatory. She tried to get on, it didn't work, so she moved up here. Started filling in, finally got a position and got on with the judge, and she was probably there 8 years and got this syndrome and had to get out of court reporting altogether. So you go from making what we're making to zero. You know, devastating.
But was
Devastating.
hers something she could have prevented?
I don't know. I don't even know that she knows. I don't know if she knows that, you know, for sure that it was something that could have been prevented. You know, but I mean, it just gets you to thinking, you know. We always take for granted, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I work out, I, you know, eat good, I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. My back never hurts. My wrists never hurt. My eyes are fine. Guys, all it takes is one accident. You know, God forbid, it takes one accident. So you always want to think ahead. You know, one, can I prevent it? Two, am I insured? Am I going to be okay if something happens? You know, and you know, I know that this isn't, maybe it is, you know, the chapter for talking about it, but I have short-term and long-term disability insurance because of that. You know, it's just something you want to think about, you know, when you get out, because you just never know. I mean, look at the guy, the football player, you know, one of the best linebackers in the game, playing with fireworks, 4th of July, blew his finger completely off. You know, almost cost him his career. Luckily, he's not a court reporter, but
Happened to one of my
It can
dad's
happen to
coworkers who
anybody.
was a surgeon, blew off 2 of his.
oh God, a surgeon. You know, and you know, just anything, getting your hand slammed in a door to anything. You know, God forbid. I mean, you know, but it happens, guys. It happens, and it's reality. You know, and I'd be silly not to talk to you about it now, because then you'd look back and like, well, nobody talked to me about it. No one ever told me that this could happen. Come on. You know, it's life. Things happen every day, all the time. So, you know, you always want to be prepared, and I don't know that you're ever fully prepared, but you at least want to be prepared. So, you know, carpal tunnel is something that's real too, you know, and that affects our profession greatly. So, back-related problems. Court reporters and those who sit in a sedentary position for long periods of time suffer from persistent back pain. These back problems are usually the result of poor posture when sitting or standing, or from sitting in chairs that do not offer proper back support. Court reporters should be keenly aware of their sitting and standing positions, making sure that they follow all the good posture rules. Some of these rules include standing or sitting as straight as possible, not slouching, and using proper back support when sitting. I mean, once again, you know, it's common sense. Do we do it all the time? No. Why? No, it's just not comfortable. It's not comfortable to sit completely straight or whatever, or stand completely straight all the time. You know, so it happens, you know. But, you know, just know that it's something that can happen, and you can start having problems, and it can affect, you know, your work, you know. And you don't want to get to that point where, you know, it does that. When you work so hard to get out of school, and then all of a sudden, something that could have been prevented, you didn't do. Vision strain. Court reporters use a sense of sound and sight to a great extent. Very often, physical problems are directly related to problems in seeing. A good eye exam by a qualified optometrist will usually detect any problems with vision. In addition, court reporters who work in front of computer monitors are susceptible to eye strain that may lead to blurred vision or headaches. A good eye to monitor range is 18 to 22 inches, looking down at the monitor at a 30-degree angle. I don't even know what that means, you know? So, I mean, you know.
There's diagrams of how it's all supposed to line
Yeah,
up.
whatever. You know, I mean, you know, to a certain degree, as long as you're not, you know, looking completely up all the time, you know, where your neck is strained, or looking completely down all the time, you know, as long as it's, you know, pretty close, And I'll be honest with you, I do a lot of my work in my recliner. I do, with my laptop. So I have it up and it's right there, but I don't have to look, I'm not looking like that. I'm looking straight. I have the recliner up to where my feet are propped and I'm in a comfortable position. But even at that, you have to get up after a while. Your back starts getting a little tight. I have restless leg syndrome, so I can't sit for long periods of time anyway. I don't know if it's blood flow, I don't know what, but I have to get up and just kind of walk around anyway. But it's good just to get your mind, and it's the same thing with practicing. And I've told you guys that too. You practice, and to the point where, I just can't take it anymore. Fine, get up. Go make a sandwich, go watch a TV show for 30 minutes, whatever. Go take a shower, let the dog out, whatever, load of clothes, fold clothes, I don't know. And then come back. When you're a little bit more refreshed, you're ready to go. To sit there and brag to people, where I rode for 8 hours straight. You probably just messed yourself up somehow. Somehow or another, you probably messed yourself up, whether it be your back, your eyes, your hands, your complete mental breakdown whatsoever. So, don't do it because you're going to sit there and brag to somebody. You do it because you're getting good practice. So if you feel all right, you feel the rhythm, everything's good, then go for as long as you can until you know what, man, my hands are tired. I'm writing excellent today. But you know what, I just need to take a little break. Go make a sandwich, take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, then come back. That's what's most important, okay? Stress-related problems. Court reporting can be a very stressful occupation for many reasons. In most instances, court reporters are constantly doing something, either writing or transcribing, and they have deadlines to meet, and they have the constant pressure of maintaining their speed and accuracy. Sometimes physical problems such as carpal tunnel, back problems, vision problems can lead to psychological problems that need to be dealt with by a professional. Because reporters are under a great amount of pressure, they need to make sure that they make time for relaxing. Court reporters should forego their vacation time, should never forego their vacation time, and fail to get the proper sleep and rest necessary to rejuvenate their minds. Most successful reporters take time to engage in some activity that is totally divorced from their everyday occupation. In other words, they have a hobby that they enjoy doing in the evenings or weekends and when they have spare time. And it's true, guys. You have to, there's pros and cons to this profession. And the pros is you can make a lot of money. And the more you work, the more you can make. But the con is something has to give. And usually it's your body or your mind or just, stuff. And, I came in here and I think I was telling you guys, how behind I was, with work all the time. I had the fourth court calling me once a week, if not twice a week or 3 times a week. Hey, where's this record? Where's this record? Where's this record? Hey, it's coming, it's in line. It's coming, it's in line. And I'm just, constantly going, constantly. So I'm working 6 or 8 hours, in court. Then I come here and teach on Monday and Wednesday, and then I go home and work every night. I was working at least an hour every day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day. And you say, well, just an hour? No, it's an hour after work, after all of this, and still go home and work an hour. But I tell you what, when I play hard, okay? And I do stuff that I enjoy doing. And I like to golf, I like to fish, I like to hunt, and those things I do. And you still have to make time for it. So there's a happy medium there, and you have to find that happy medium. You know what? God, I have that thing due or whatever, but you know what? I can't take it anymore. You know what? I call somebody, let's go play golf, man. Set up a tee time, let's go play. And for 4 hours, I don't worry about anything but playing golf. 4 hours. And you come back, you're a little bit tired, take a shower, grab something to eat, jump on the computer for an hour, good to go. So you have to be able to find that happy medium. Because if not, you're going to drive yourself nuts at this profession, and it's easy to do it. And I think I told you guys about a friend of mine. She passed away, but she would work like crazy for 2 weeks. I mean, for like 2 months, and just boom, 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 as many jobs as she could in 2 months. And then she'd take a week off and just go somewhere, 2 weeks or 10 days, and just take a vacation and say, you know what, write me off the books, I'm done. I'm done, write me off the books. I'm going to Vail, or I'm going to Vegas, or I'm going to Mexico, Cancun, or whatever. I'll see you in a week, 10 days. And she would go and just have a great time. You know, but that's the way she worked. I mean, where she would work, I mean, just taking as much stuff as she could, work until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, you know, and then just doing whatever she needed to do, make all this money, and then just, but, you know, you don't have to do it to that extreme. You know, there's a happy medium. You know what, I just take as much as I can that, you know, I'm able to, and then, you know what, I'll take 2 or 3 days off, or I'll take a long weekend. You know, write me off the books Thursday, Friday. You know, I'm gonna take an extra long weekend. And my family and I are going to go down to the coast for a weekend. You don't have to go to Belize, or you don't have to go to Cancun. But, I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can. So, always consult a professional. Consulting a qualified person in any of the areas where problems may occur is important for court reporters. Court reporters need to be in tip-top shape, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Someone once said that a successful court reporter surrounds himself or herself with 5 good people. The first is a good friend or confidant who may be a spouse or a partner. The second is a member of the clergy, a pastor, or a counselor. The third is a good financial advisor or an accountant. The fourth is good general physician who can diagnose and refer you to a specialist. And the fifth is a good lawyer. Okay. I guess so, you know, whatever, so. You know, going back to that stress-related problems, you know, and it says right here, you know, beginning court reporters need to be warned against the dangers of substituting drugs and alcohol for proper health, diet, sleep, and exercise. Any signs of abuse in that direction should be dealt with immediately by consulting a professional. And it's true, guys. You know, and you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, a lot of people handle stress in that way, with alcohol or drugs, you know, and stuff like that. And it just, you know, it doesn't need to be. If you find that happy medium, you know, then you're okay. You know, you don't need, you know, that stuff to take over your life, and it can, you know, and I've seen it happen to good friends, you know, so. Learn from it, and don't feel like you need it, okay? But it's common sense too. I mean, you know. Any questions about that? Imagine that. What you got?
Which method is better, seeing like a massage therapist or a chiropractor?
Well, they're 2 totally different things. You know, massage, I think they're both good, you know, but some people don't believe in chiropractic, you know, because it has to deal with bones and, you know, whatever. So, you know, I've heard people say, don't, you know, don't do that. I've done it. It's good. It works for me. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm telling you what, there's nothing like a good massage. Nothing. You know, so if you can afford both, which you're going to be able to, I mean, and you know, you feel like you need both, and I've done it. I've done both, you know, and they're both good, you know. But it's a good way of relieving stress, is, you know, getting a good massage.
Do you prefer one over the other?
Yeah, if I could get a massage, I would. I mean, it just, but I mean,
think it's about they'll adjust you if something is wrong.
Yeah.
Massage therapists try and ease out the muscle groups.
yeah,
so that they
stress,
relax.
you know, stress pockets or stress, you know, little knots that you have in you, and it's, you know, it works. I'm telling you, it works. You know, so whatever works for you. I mean, I haven't done it in a long time, and I probably need to go, but, you know, and I kind of make a joke about, I work as hard as I play. I mean, I play hard too, so, I mean, your body just gets, you know, your body can only take so much, you know, and you have to take care of your body because it's going to take care of you, okay? So,
You also do physical therapy sometimes if you start
Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, just exercise and stuff like that, even going for walks. I mean, just take your mind off of something, you know, for that little bit, exercises your mind. And it gets you to thinking about something just totally different. You know, whether it be anything, you know, just walking the dog around the, you know, neighborhood for 30 minutes or whatever. One, get your heart pumping, so it gets you a little bit of exercise. And two, I mean, just get you to thinking about something totally different other than work and, you know, whatnot. Okay? Any questions? The court system in America. Objectives. Discuss in general terms the court system in America. Explain the federal court structure as it relates to the various courts, and discuss the individual state courts as they relate to the highest court in the state. The federal court structure. The federal court system, as in diagram 35.1, was developed originally so that the national government would not have to depend on state courts to carry out its laws. Eventually, federal courts came to have exclusive jurisdiction over criminal matters involving violation of federal law. You know, which you guys all know, the highest court that you can go to is the U.S. Supreme Court. That's your absolute highest court you can go, okay? U.S. Supreme Court. The highest court in the United States is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court hears cases that have been previously tried and appealed, and no further appeal is allowed as a result of its decision. The Supreme Court consists of a Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. The power of the U.S. Supreme Court to review the decisions of state courts is limited to lawsuits that involve a federal question. However, the Supreme Court has the power to declare unconstitutional any federal or state statute that is contrary to the U.S. Constitution. Only about 10% of the cases that apply for review by the Supreme Court are declared worthy of even being heard. Isn't that amazing? 10%. That's it.
They select the ones they want to hear.
Oh, yeah. And it has to have some merit to it. You know, well, I'm going to go to the Supreme Court, you know, and have my case heard because I had my rights terminated.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. You have to show some reason why they even need to hear it. One, you already had a district court hear it, terminated your rights. Now you go to the appellate level. Now a totally different court has heard it, and now they felt the same way. Now you go to the state court, state, you know, Supreme Court, I guess, is the next one. Yeah, from the state appeals from the state courts, and then you go to the Supreme Court. Well, I mean, if you've already had 2 or 3 courts that have already said, you know what, no, it's probably not going to get heard. I mean, unless you have some merit to it, you know. And like in our cases, you know, my judge is an associate judge. So they can appeal it on what's called a de novo, and we talked about that. Do y'all know what a de novo is? You look like you do. What's a de novo, Slick?
I don't know.
Awesome. Anyone?
Is Latin devils new?
Yes. Dad is
But new
of new. No, and what it is they're just asking for a new trial. So they can ask, you know what, we want a new trial. We want an appeal from the associate judge to a district court judge,
What is it called again?
de novo.
Maybe I can spell de nuevo, like de
From the
nuevo, like in
beginning.
Spanish.
But it's N-O-V-O, so it's
Right.
actually Latin, I think.
Right, but it's, I mean,
Yeah.
you can think of it that way.
Yeah,
From the beginning.
yeah.
De nuevo.
So it's just new.
De nuevo.
And what they're asking for is a new trial. You know, but a lot of times, you know, we have like a certain judge, Judge Sakai, who hears all of our de novo hearings. So what he does is he's like, send me the record. I want to see the record of the proceedings. So he'll read the whole record, and then they come in. So they don't get a new trial. You don't get to put on all of the evidence again. No. You know what? You're not going to put on all the stuff that they already heard. I'm going to go through and I'm going to read the record, which he does, and then he says, okay,
What else you got?
what do you have to add that they heard, that I read, that's new, that you think that they missed? And there's usually nothing. There isn't anything. Or, you know what, this witness was gonna come in and say, Mom did do 3 counseling sessions out of the 15 she was supposed to do. And she was supposed to do 15, she only did 3. That's not enough. So no. So I mean, you know, you get to that point and then you get to the Supreme Court, you already have 4 courts that have already heard it, 3 or 4 courts that have already heard it. So, and that's what they're saying right here, is that you have to have merit. The U.S. Supreme Court is the only court created in the U.S. Constitution. Its jurisdiction is varied and usually of an appellate nature. In most instances, the U.S. Supreme Court may decide whether it will hear a particular case. Once a decision has been made in a trial court and in an appellate court, the losing party may petition the Supreme Court for a writ of that or a writ of review. I think it's certiorari.
Maybe we can get the
Certiorari.
dictionary to pronounce it for us.
Certiorari. Say it.
Sounds-
Everyone. Say it.
So that's a shortary. Isn't it statutory? I think that's what it's.
Hold on, let's see if we can get-
Certiorari.
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 Okay, the U.S. Court of Appeals. The United States is divided into 12 judicial districts, that is 11 judicial district circuits and the District Court of Columbia Judicial Court. Each circuit has a federal court of appeals. These courts have no original jurisdiction. The Court of Appeals is the court of last resort in the federal court system. Cases may be appealed from the Court of Appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. District Courts. The United States is divided into judicial districts, and the federal district courts are courts. You know what, guys? Let me go back to that Court of Appeals. I think there are 11 or 12. The one in San Antonio is the 4th. So if ever you appeal something, it's to the 4th Court of Appeals. Okay?